Okay, welcome to your yoga class. I'm Brittney. This is going to be our new model for this today. This is unique. She'll be showing us the modifications for the slow, and it's going to be a fairly mellow flow. But let's just start first by pressing play on the playlist. If you have that available to you, we'll press play in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. So we'll just probably start in a seat. So if you can grab your block. Okay. And you can sit however you want, cross-legged or on your shins like I am, totally up to you. Yeah, everyone just get one block. Okay, we've got people off screen here that are taking part in the slow too, so feel into their presence, feel into your own presence. And I want you just to relax your arms wherever they may land. Put your hands down if you need some grounding or if you need some receiving. You can flip your palms up. And if it feels safe for you, gently close your eyes and rock your body forward and back as you pendulate from future thoughts, past thoughts, until you come right into the center, which is the present. Maybe the forward and back doesn't resonate, but going even side to side and feeling into your left and your right, your masculine and your feminine, until you arrive into this balance point. Your spine feels stacked, your shoulders can relax, and feel this gentle lift all the way up through your crown. And feel your heart pull forward. Take a breath in through your nose. And an open mouth exhale. Try it again. Breathe in into the bottom of your lungs. And an open mouth exhale to release. Okay, this last one, you're gonna do a little with your lips. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Just let all of that air escape you and then continue with your breath. In through your nose. Maybe you do another, or maybe you just breathe it out. I don't know about you, but the new moon that happened yesterday kind of rattled me. And I want to spend this time, the next 45 minutes, really pulling in the energy, coming back to this trust within ourselves when we feel fully aligned, not just in our bodies, but with our thoughts and with our actions. So we can move and navigate through the next month in our lives the way we want to. So maybe if you've been feeling scattered, or you feel like you have other people's energies stuck on you, you can't shake any feelings that you don't really want anymore, I want you to take your left hand and start to brush off your right arm. You can go as slow as you want or as fast as you want. And you can flick off any of those energies. Notice if you start to relax the top of your neck and shoulder. You can even scrape or brush into your neck and down your shoulder and arm, across your chest. And then do the same thing with your right hand for your left side. Those things don't necessarily belong to you. They don't need to stick to you. And doing this energetic cleaning, swiping of the body, which you can take all the way down into your waist and your legs if you want, or even around your face. Flicking around your forehead and your temples can feel quite clearing. Maybe shake out your hands. Shake until you don't need to anymore. Oof, a lot. There's a lot of stuff moving around. And then come back to a stillness and see if that made you feel any different. Continue to breathe. Maybe this time taking longer inhales and longer exhales to match it. Begin to trust. Trust what's truly underneath the surface of your skin, your thoughts. See if you can find that observant and honest voice within you, which can lead you through this movement practice. Listen to that, listen to your breath. Watch unique for modifications. And let your arms come down by your sides. Take a deep breath in as you sweep your arms all the way up and around. And again, as you just gather what's really true for you. Exhale, pull your hands in towards your heart as you seal it all in. Take a breath in, take your hands back up to the sky. Exhale and take a little side bend over to your left. Left hand down, right hand comes up and over. Feel into your right waist, not gonna stay long. Take a breath in and a breath out to anchor into both of your sits bones. Breathe in and come back up through the center, both arms high. Exhale over to your right. Right hand down, left hand comes all the way up. Just stay for one breath in, feeling into it. Exhale to settle. And one more time each side, breathe in, come up. Watch out for your surroundings. Exhale, left hand down, right hand up and over. And moving with the inhale, come back up through center, use your core. Exhale, right hand down, left hand up and over. Good, breathe in and come back to the center. You can relax your arms for a second. If you're sitting cross-legged, go ahead and switch out your legs so that you get something different. And if you're still comfortable on your shins, you can stay. Okay, breathe in again, arms up. Exhale and twist to your left. Right hand can reach across, left hand can come to your low back or the space behind you if your arms are nice and long. I want you to take a breath in as you arch your spine, lift up your heart, take your chin up if that feels okay on your neck. Exhale and do a little rounding, collapsing into the back space. Notice if that feels weird. Inhale, take your heart up. Maybe you make it a little smaller. Exhale and round slightly in this twist. One more time. Breathe in, use your arms as traction, pull your shoulder blades back. Exhale and let them come forward as you round, chin in towards your chest. Inhale, unravel yourself so you come to the middle with arms high. Exhale, let's twist to the right. Use your hand across your body on your thigh to give you some leverage. As you breathe in, sit up really tall, pick up your chest, take your chin to the sky. Exhale, take a small rounding into your back. Feel your tailbone tuck under. 2 more times. Inhale, heart up, chin up, tailbone back. Exhale, round. Feel that space open up behind you. One more, inhale. And exhale. Okay, breathe in and come back through the center. Reach high. Maybe you reach so high that you feel your waistline getting longer, your arms feel long. Again, just connect back to your strength, that inner trust, that inner guidance. Hold it within your palms, feel that energy there. Take a breath in. And exhale, take your hands forward. You can shift off your block any way that feels comfortable. You can scooch it all the way up to the top. Come into all fours. Let's take the right leg back, nice and long, and feel that length behind the back of your knee. Take your hands forward, just a palm print. Tuck your left toes under. Breathe in as you shift forward. Exhale, push into your hands. Maybe the left knee lifts up as you push back into the right heel. Open up your calf. You can stay right there, or you can move with it. Inhaling to come forward, letting the knee come down. Exhale and push back into your hands. Pulse into that stretch. Use your full exhale. Take a couple more. Notice if you're carrying tension in your head and your neck. Then go ahead and switch it out. Really easy and simple here. Left leg all the way back. Keep your hands out in front of your shoulders. Breathe in as you shift forward though for a sec. Exhale, lift your right knee, push into your hands. Feel the weight of your left heel getting heavier. Inhale, come forward. Exhale and push. Just a couple more times at your own pace, with the timing of your breath to be the guide. Excellent. Go ahead and lower the right knee down, followed by the left. And just take your right hand to flip it over onto your top side of your hand. I want you to feel this straightening out of your elbow. Spin the eye of your elbow forward. So your fingertips should be able to like reach up and wiggle. But keep your elbows straight as you lean back. Notice that small stretch in your wrist or in your forearm. Can you relax your shoulder blades down onto your back? Maybe you play with making a fist and then releasing it. Let that all go. You can release the right wrist, circle it out. Try it on the left side. Put the top of your hand down so your fingertips are back towards you. And start with straightening out your elbow all the way. And if you happen to like hyperextend like I do, we want that because that's your end range. Lean back until you feel the stretch. Just let the shoulders dip away from the ears. Create more space around your neck. Try making a tiny fist, or just curl your fingers as best as you can, noticing any change in your forearm or in your wrist. And then release it, circle it out. Come into all fours again, nice and even. You can walk the hands forward just slightly. Tuck your toes under, take a breath in, feel your spine get long. Exhale, use your core, lift your knees, hike up your hips into your first down dog. Take your time. Feel into that trust and that intuition. What would feel good here to keep you rooted into the earth, to feel strong and stable in this upside down V? You can walk your hands out to shoulder width if they're not there yet. Take your feet out to hip width distance apart if they're not there yet. Bend your knees, let your tailbone shine high to the sky. Feel your sits bone widen as you push your heart back towards your thighs. This is not an easy pose, but I want you to channel in your breath and see if you can pull in some strength all the way through your hands, letting that energy from the earth pick up your tailbone even higher as you breathe in, and this settling of your heels as you breathe out. Just take one more breath here. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward towards your hands. Exhale to bend your knees and hop or walk. Do whatever you need to do. Take as many steps until you come to the top of your mat. Feet land hip width distance apart. Take a breath in, find a halfway lift. Energize your spine. Feel a little pull back of your shoulders as your heart shines forward. Exhale, melt it all down. Try that one again. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Think about shining your crown forward. Exhale and fold. Notice if you feel your hips back because you feel all the weight in your heels. Can you bend your knees and put some pressure on your toes? Don't worry, your toes got you. You can hold onto the floor, your blocks or your elbows, or even the back of your head. If you're still feeling that distracting thought or energy getting in your way at the base of your head, you can do a little swipe at the bottom, just where your skull meets your neck, or you can swipe the backs of your legs. Be here for another breath. And as you inhale, peek your head up, find your block, put it on either the medium or the tallest height, depending on how your hamstrings are feeling today. Okay, bend into your left knee, keep your right leg straight. Inhale, take your right arm to the sky, your twist. And the more you bend into your left knee, the more you let your hip dip down and pull back on your right, you should feel a nice outer right thigh stretch. You can keep the hand lifted. You can take a half bind with your right arm, looking for the inside of your left thigh. Try relaxing your left shoulder down. If that means bending your elbow, that's okay. Take one more breath. Exhale, release back into your full. Switch out your hands, switch out the bend, right knee bends. Inhale, left arm up to the sky. Or you can play with taking that half bind. Keep shining your heart to the front. Check out Ariel's bun. The more you pull back on that left hip crease, the more you'll feel in the whole outer line of your left side. Take one more breath. Exhale and release back into the fold. Bend into your knees and rise up slow. One vertebrae at a time. There's no rush. Let your head be the last thing to stack. Take a step back so you can see. Take a deep breath in, shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, roll them back. Spiral your hands to face forward so you feel open, ready to receive whatever you need. You can call that in right now. Take a breath in, sweep your arms all the way up around you again, collecting. Exhale, pull your hands in towards your heart, fold it forward and down. Inhale, take a halfway lift, find a long spine. And breathe out, and you can keep your hands on your block, keep your right hand forward, step your left foot back, and allow your left knee to soften down. So with your block underneath your hands, you can find maybe just a little bit more lift for your chest. You can walk out your right foot so it's wider than your hip. You can settle into the pelvis and either pick up your chest and keep your head stacked, or you can let the head drop down. Notice the connection of the front of your left hip to the base of your spine, or not base of your spine, base of your head. Try taking your right ear over to the right. Feel free to ditch the block or use two blocks. I want you to think about these positions staying dynamic by using your breath. Even though it looks like you're staying still, the movement is there, right, in your core. Stay for one more breath. Bring your head back into alignment with your spine if you moved it. You can take your hands to frame your foot now. So walk your foot in. You can use the block too. Shift your hips back and straighten out your right leg. Pull the toes up towards your face. When you breathe in, lift up your heart. Breathe out and let your heart melt forward. We'll do that 2 more times because I like the dynamic movement here. Inhale, come up. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale again to lift and find some length in your spine. Exhale, fold. So while you stay here, maybe you play with bending the right knee, pulling the toes up towards your face, or you can point the toes down. Feel the stretch on the top of your ankle and shin. And just like we've been doing, pulse between 2 spaces using your breath. We'll come back into this hamstring stretch in a bit. start first with pulling up your toes towards your face for a second. Take your block, put it underneath your left shoulder on the flat side, and keep your right hand at your sacrum. Find a little bit of balance here. And think about tipping your tailbone back behind you, and keep your kneecap and toes pointing up towards the sky. Okay, breathe in, open up to the right. See if you can find that same sensation when you were standing on both feet. You can play with reaching your right arm up to the sky again. Take a breath. And exhale and release. Come all the way back down. Okay. Bend into that right knee. Keep a little buoyancy in your hips. You can ditch the block, put both hands down on the ground. Lift up or tuck your left toes under and lift up your left knee. Take a big step up to the top when you're ready. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise, stand up tall. Exhale, hands in towards your heart. Take a bonus breath to feel the difference right to left. To come back into this presence, to your breath, to that intuition again. Inhale, reach your palms up to the sky. Exhale, fold yourself in half. Inhale, halfway lift. Give yourself some room, find your block again. And exhale and step your right foot back, followed by your right knee coming down to the ground. Right, hands on the inside if you want to start there. On top of the block, totally cool. Feel that out. Try propping up your chest as best as you can, using your arms. And you can keep your head up, gaze up, or take your chin down towards your chest. And tip your left ear to the left. And see if you feel the connection, the way your head is connected to your hip. Breathe into your right hip flexor. Let the pose take whatever shape as you move in deeper with your breath, coming down into your hands, and deepening into your pelvis. One more breath here. And then bring your head back to the center. Take your time aligning your left foot with your left hip, and then push your hips back, finding a straight leg with your left, with a little buoyancy and bounce in your left knee. Right, take a breath in as you float your spine up. Exhale, move it down. 2 more times like a wave. Inhale, come up. Exhale to fold. 1 more time, inhale up. Exhale, melt. Stay right here where your hips are balanced over your right knee. Using your left heel to dig in, pull your toes up, play with keeping them there as you move your belly closer to your thigh, your heart closer to your knee or your shin. Point the toes down, pull them up. You can play with this movement in your own body again, right? Follow that intuition. What is your body asking for? Can you let the mind quiet enough so you can hear? We'll do one more. Pull the toes up. Inhale and lift up your heart. Finding a long spine. Grab your block, put it underneath your right shoulder. Right hand down. Left hand can start at your low back sacrum area. And breathe in and find a little lift in your chest. Maybe this time we'll breathe out to twist. And keep your kneecap pointing straight up to the sky. Play with opening up your wings, finding the stretch from top to bottom of the room you're in. Keep shining your chest to the left. 1 more breath in. And a breath out to fold. All right, bend into your left knee. Let your hands frame your foot. Tuck your right toes under. Lift your right knee up. Take a little bend there. Take a big step up to the top. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise. Stand up tall. Using the strength of your back body, reach up. Exhale, hands into your heart. You can leave them there or take them onto your hips or by your side. Take a couple bonus breaths here to feel this balance. Again, left to right. Maybe you feel again in space, going forward and back on your feet. Again, finding center right in the present, where your bones are aligned. Everything feels good. Take one more breath in. And a out. Nice. Take your hands to your hips. We're going to keep the right foot forward. Come to the middle of your space with that right foot and keep your left foot back. You're going to look down, see that you have space in between your feet. So you're not on a tightrope. You are wide enough where you feel balanced and centered. Aim your belly button and your chest to the front. Take a breath in as you roll your shoulders back. Lift up your heart. Exhale, fold down with a long spine. Catch your block on the way if you need it. And here I want you to feel a dip of the left hip and then a pulling back of the left hip to feel a couple different spots in your body. Again, the right hamstring, or maybe it's the left waistline. You're basically moving your pelvis on top of your right femur. So it looks like you're wagging your tail side to side. But you can also just stay and focus on releasing your crown down to the earth. Rooting back through your left foot. See if you can create a small arch. Take one more breath. Breathe in and lift up your spine back to parallel. We'll try that twist one more time, but this time take your block to the highest setting because your legs are a little bit longer here. Keep your right hand on your sacrum. Breathe in, find a long spine. Imagine your tailbone pushing back behind you. When you breathe out, push into your block. Take that twist one more time. Reach up with your hand and take a breath in. And exhale and circle that arm down by your leg. Inhale, sweep it back. Exhale, circle the arm down. Let your eyes travel this time. Inhale up. See your hand. Exhale, let it travel down. And one more time, big reach up to the sky at 12 o'clock. Exhale, let yourself fold. And this time, you can just take the step again. Left foot to meet the right. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise. Press through your feet. Come all the way up to stand. Reach with your hands, your arms. Feel your waist lengthen. Exhale, hands into your heart. And then to your hips or to your sides. Up to you. Okay, let's step back into the middle of your space. Take your right foot back. Again, find that space in between your feet so you don't feel like you're on a tightrope. Aim your belly button to the front. Same with your sternum, like they're on the same plane. Okay, inhale, heart up. Exhale, keep your legs strong, turned on as you hinge from your hips and pull down. You can stay right here in stillness where basically you're looking at your sacrum being balanced, right? Level where you could potentially balance a block or even like a glass of water or something like that on your back. But if you're looking for movement, you're pulling back on the right hip, feeling your inner left thigh, and then letting the right hip guide down, feeling your outer left thigh. And just notice where that lands in your body. Explore all those tiny corners where things end up hiding. And just like you're moving your hips, and like you moved your ankle, think of it as like flossing for your body. Are you a dedicated flosser? I'm like so paranoid about it. Find some stillness right in the middle. And keep your right hand on your block. Let's go highest setting for now. Stay grounded into both of your feet. Left hand to your low back to start. Okay, inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist along this axis for your back. Cool. And then you can take the arm to match it as you breathe in. And when you breathe out, you can let the arm circle down by your leg out in front. Inhale and open it back up. Again, noticing how the shoulder is connected to your waist, to your hips, all the way down to your feet. Do you feel your feet changing every time your hand moves? Hopefully you do. Should be a little change. But you're navigating those ways. One more time as you breathe in, reach up. And exhale, take that fold all the way back down. Bend into your front knee just to give yourself some room to step up to the top. And inhale, find a halfway lift. And then a breath out to fold. Inhale, root to rise. Stand up tall. Reach up. Exhale, hands in towards your heart. Settle in. All right. You can keep your hands at your heart or at your hips. If you have difficulty with balance, I want you to stay close to a wall because we haven't been working on our balance here yet, but we will. I want you to stand on your left foot. I'll show you from the side. And you're going to lift up your, oh, sorry, did I say left? Okay, stand on your left foot. You're going to bend your right knee. Let's take your hand to grab the outside of your right foot. And you can stay right here as you draw your knees in together and feel this tucking of your tailbone down. Heel to your butt. Notice if your knee wants to fly out in front of you, can you guide it back to your left? If you are having some trouble with balance, I want you to focus your eyeballs on one thing. Something that isn't moving, or you can use 2 fingers on the wall. Hold this quad stretch for one more breath. Finding your center. And just let that foot go. You can let it land with intention. Okay. And really root down through the right foot now. Let's take the left heel to your butt. See if you can grab that guy. You're really pulling in this centering energy, right? Thighs basically to touch. Tilt your tailbone down, so like you're pressing your pubic bone forward. It doesn't really matter if your heel touches your butt, but if you can get the sensation going in your quad by bringing your knee back to meet your right, take one more big breath. Good, exhale and let that go. Let your foot land softly. And all I want you to do now is make your way down to the floor. So we're just gonna stand strong, either feet together or feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, take a big reach. Exhale, fold yourself in half. Inhale, take a halfway lift just to give yourself some room. Exhale and come all the way down to your knees. Swivel your feet over, find a seat. We're gonna do my favorite, modified, or you can do a full-on double pigeon. So we'll start with the right shin in first, followed by the left in front. And I want you to just check in and see with your hips, right? This could be a thing where you start here and then you can progress into stacking your ankle on top of your thigh. Okay, scooch that flesh out from behind you, see the triangle in your legs. Take a breath in as you use your hands to prop your heart up. Keep your spine long or use the ground behind you like you can. Exhale and fold yourself forward. Hinging from the hips first. Imagining your tailbone going straight back behind you. You can let your spine curl forward. Use the block as needed for support for your chest or your head. If you had someone pulling back on your hips, what would that feel like to surrender into the weight of that right now? Can you let your tailbone be an anchor so that your spine can get long every time you breathe out? Let yourself curl in for 3 more breaths. Let things get a little heavier. Take a breath in to rise. Don't rush. Stamp your feet out in front of you, hands behind you. Do a gentle windshield wiper. Again, it's like a plus. Good for the bod. All right. Come back when you're ready. The left shin will come in first this time, followed by the right. Find a little activation in your ankles for me, and then take the flesh out from behind you so that you can really bear down into your sits bones. Take a breath in, hard up. Exhale, hinge it forward. Let the tension release. Again, you can imagine if there was a heavy blanket hanging over you. Not necessarily hiding you or protecting you, but giving you this weight to keep you plugged in, to keep you present. As if you were looking inside yourself, really asking your body again to guide you, not just on the mat here right now, but off when you're doing yoga off the mat in your life. Take one more. Use your breath in to climb and rebuild back up to a seat. Take your hands up behind you again, stamp your feet out. Let's do a little windshield wipering again. Until you feel even enough, you can move your sits bones to the spot in the middle of your space. Take your block with you like that. Okay. Dig your heels in, pull your toes up. You can use your hamstrings for a little grip or the support. Breathe in, hike up your heart. Exhale and roll all the way down, one segment at a time. Feel your sacrum go, then your low back, and then your upper back, and then your head. You get a couple of options here. You can use your block underneath your hips if you want to do a supported bridge as potentially your last move before Shavasana. Right. Try whatever setting works for you underneath your sacrum and stay right here supported. You can take your feet up to the sky. You'll be here for 5 breaths. I want you to think about your pelvis as a really sacred space. I think of it as the carrier of the root, the carrier of creativity. But it can't really move into its creative energies if it's having any blocks. Right? So that's what that swiping is about. If you feel like swiping away, again, any remnant energies, feelings about it, you can do that. Or if your legs are floating up in the air, you can give them another good shake. That always feels good too. Then when you're ready, lift up your hips, push into your feet. Take the block out. Lower your hips down and give your knees a little squeeze in towards your chest. Rock side to side. Feeling your low back. Coming back into stillness. Ask yourself if you need anything else. If you don't, you're welcome to move into a position of rest. Shavasana, legs long, arms by your side. We're in a big X. Blocks under your knees, you got them. Get your wiggles out until you can settle into a space of stillness to help balance the movement. Take a breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. When you keep your jaw relaxed, release the tension around your lips, around your eyes, that space in between your eyebrows. No more having to carry any of it. Leave it here. Take at least 10 slow, watchful breaths. You can stay and relax, quieting your mind so much that you can hear the body's voice. Keep practicing that. If you're ready to begin more movement, coming back into the space, into this present time, breathe in through your nose, release it out, and just intuitively move through your hands, through your feet, nodding your head side to side, taking a full stretch. Bend your knees and roll over onto the side. Just pausing and reflecting right here is another symbol of acknowledging. I want you to think of something you're grateful for from today. Something or someone. And when you're full of some gratitude, come up to a seat. Any way you can comfortably get there. Stack up your spine. Bring your hands to your heart space. Again, just collecting everything back in. Take a breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale to give it back. Thank you so much for coming and just practicing, listening to your body. From my heart to yours, namaste. Namaste.